What we're doing here is today is to talk about how to prepare when you go to, do your taxes in 2022. What do you need to prepare? That's what we want to talk about. So with that, and we will say that all the webinars we provided on Community CPA YouTube channel is free. And so you want to use your judgment to utilize our materials, and do not blindly follow and quotation or quote what we said on webinar, because that would not be a good defense for you if you are happen to fight with IRS. If you happen to fight with any government agency, and the best route to go is to hire professionals, people like our firm, and to represent you. And we do have attorneys in our firm, so we don't provide legal services are so big, right? There is a huge field of legal services, and our legal services here in our firm is very narrowly defined. We only do business related side of business legal services. All right, with that, and let's talk about what should you do when you are ready for 2022, in 2022 year, to file 2021 tax return. So generally speaking, when you're getting ready to do your tax return, you need to have your document ready, right? A lot of times, some of the CPA firm would ask you to upload and, your email, all of these electronic means for uploading files. Folks, I would say that do everything you can to work with CPA firms that with portals, because those portals are encrypted. Uploading, the process of going up on the digital data, they're encrypted, so your data is safe. So I will say that if you cannot, now we have what this new virus string called Omicron. We have this new string right now. I don't really know what is going to be like in the winter, in the tax season time. So maybe you should consider to start uploading your files to the CPA firm, to my firm, so that you can actually get your taxes done that way. And we can meet on Zoom just like this, and to talk about your taxes. And we have, number of tax professionals here in our firm, so we can work with you. But this is one way of uploading files. What I want to say to you is avoid to email your tax document. Try to upload, try to work with a firm for the long run. So you got your portal and you can upload. But of course, if you move firms around, you're going to be ending up having too many portals. You don't even know which one is the one you were using anymore, right? So right now at our firm, we have two kind of portals that are available to our client. One is our legacy portal, which is what we use for the last 15 years. We are migrating our portal into Community Cloud, and that is also on our website. You actually see the portal login, Community Cloud login. So those both are the same, but you just want to make sure that if you are always used our portal, you're a legacy portal user, you are still using our old portal system. But if you are assigned with Community Cloud login, and you know that you can go to Community Cloud, we are slowly migrating people over to Community Cloud. So portal submitting your tax document, it is a really good idea. It will leave you a track of what you send up to your tax preparer. And also you are not worried about not missing your document anymore. When the taxes return is done, you can flip your pages and go through your own document, know exactly what was done, right? So that is one advice we say. Of course, people are doing that in the past, but I will say that for 2022, it is even bigger years for portal users, and you want to work with those CPA firms that provide you with that kind of data security. Data security is so important. If you have not come through any incidents on identity theft and being a victim of that, you probably don't think much of it. But if you are being nailed by those scammers, and life is miserable because things that you don't even think about is already stolen. So please make sure that you care about your data security, right? So that's number one. Number two, what I want to mention to you is that starting from January, you will be receiving paper document, right, coming into you. And a lot of time, so often, you receive the one set of document, and a month later, they give you another one called amendment. So even the data issuers, the original tax source data issuers, they have so much technical issues at their hand. So their data is not accurate. They send you something already, then they come back, go, sorry, it's wrong, give you another one. Didn't you see that? You see that a lot, right? So with that in mind, what I would advise you, never file your tax too early. I'll say that if you don't have any businesses, you're just 1040 filer, I would wait till the end of February, start filing 1040. If the due date is April 15th, just because you want all the tax forms to be finalized, because the taxes are filed on the forms. The forms are designed by IRS, but implemented by software companies. You know, they're different kind of companies. They create different software for the tax preparer to use. Like at our firm, we use UltraTax. Okay, that's just one of the kind of software we use. Other people can use Drake. Other people can use TaxSlater, right? So all kind of software is out there, and the people need to work on the software in order to implement those forms. And imagine the forms is still changing. How would you expect those software to do that timely? So they're going to release the form early without finishing it. So you want to wait until a little later, just kind of wait for the dust to settle and President Biden finish changing the taxes. So that way you can, start doing your taxes, right? And if you don't owe any taxes, or if you know you owe taxes, you already paid them, nothing wrong to file extension, folks. Filing extension has 3 important purposes. Number one, filing extension, so you give yourself more time to gather information. Sometimes your information is not even all here. Okay, so that's number one, people filing extension. Number two, filing extension is to give yourself more time to gather information. Number two is to give your tax preparer more time to look at your tax return and spending more time with you. You want to get your taxes done really, really well. You want time from your tax preparer. You can't cram into this busy season. Nobody gonna have time. It's literally a process. It's a chain of reaction. It's gonna go very fast. But if you want special attention, the smart taxpayers, they wait. They give time to the tax preparer. So give time to tax preparer. Number three, it is for data accuracy. You want to file extension because then you can compare your data with what the government has for you in order you to file tax return even more accurately. And you know what I'm talking about, because if you're my client, you are being told so many times to come to us, do the data match service with us, so we can make sure that you are absolutely 100% accurate with the government. When your tax return goes in, electronically filed with IRS, all IRS system flags is that everything matches. What do they flag? Nothing. The only way you could be flagged is if it is your being whistleblowed by somebody, right? Otherwise, your tax return has no indicator for any reasons to be pulled out. Okay, so with that, so I would say that extension, give yourself that opportunity to think of how you do taxes. Why? Sometimes I know some taxpayers would say that, well, never late before, and I just don't like to be late. I like my things to be done, just done on time. Great life attitude, and I wish I could do that just like you. And I mean, I learned my lessons. Sometimes done is not even the best way to deal with paperwork, and is most important is to get that in attention to detail in the filing so you can do it right. Okay, And that would be our second advice in terms of filing taxes. Organize your data. And if you don't get your data complete, and a file extension, and then file them later. And the third advice we have on folks is that when you change, if you decided to move from tax preparer to another tax preparer, to another firm, and really important is to get a hold of the tax preparer copy of your tax return. I say that because some of the working papers behind the scene that doesn't get submitted to IRS or state, and also did not get printed to you, it is in that prepared copy. If you get that prepared copy, and your new tax accountant would not have any question for you because it's all in there. Okay, and like depreciation schedule and any NOL carry forward, any Schedule D capital loss carry forward, it will all show and laid out for you. So you don't want to change tax preparer and lose values that you saved in the previous return. So, when we take over a new tax forms, the new tax preparer, and what we are really paying attention to is the carryover values. So for example, if you made high income and you have a rental property on your Schedule E, your rental property has been running losses, and you probably know that you were never able to deduct it. And, you just kind of shrug your shoulder, goes, oh, well, I cannot deduct it. But did you know that those losses are already saved in your tax return year after year in the return? So it could be amounted to be a big amount, okay? If it is a big amount, one day when you had a capital gain, it will offset that loss first. So how could you not carry it? You want to have it, okay? So for that reason, we say that when you change tax preparer, change mindfully. Why are you changing tax preparer? I say that in life, you need two people in long run in your life. One is your other significant others, your spouse. That is the person you want to run in the long run. You know who is the other person? Your tax person. You want that person to run with you in the long run. Unless your life changes so much and you were working at W-2 and the next day you become a billionaire, obviously you change your tax preparer. But normally you want to keep that long relationship with your tax person because every year reinforcing you know each other. Those time have given value to significant understanding of your tax return, a big deal. If you are new, there are significant tax treatment that the tax preparer may not realize, may not think for you. For example, I had a good story related to that. And I had a client, the couple had a hard time to conceive, so they don't have kid. So they were going through the process to adopt a kid from Russia. Then, they stopped working with our firm for about 5 years. The 6 years they came in, and they have a 5 years old or 4 years old girl from Russia. And of course, when they come back in to do taxes, I assumed the little girl was born by the couple. I did not know she was adopted. Then a year and two into working with them on tax return, 1 year after the second year, somehow the conversation brought up, and I realized that, oh, that little girl is adopted. And then I immediately thought of the adoption credit on the tax. So I'm just wondering, and I didn't, because it's already so late, right? I'm already in so many years. So I don't meant to figure out whether they got the credit or not, because even if they didn't have claimed that credit, a 3-year statutory limitation is already over. So the refund, they can't get it anymore. So I just casually asked, I said, oh, did you take advantage of that 15,000, adoption tax credit? 2 of them said that they didn't even heard of it. Nobody ever told them. So they did not claim. Okay, so obviously it has to be because they are new to the other preparers too, because they left our firm to go to the other one. So maybe, they adopted in a year or two. So they are not that familiar with the couple. So they didn't really ask. So they probably just thought is their kid, right? So with that, and I want to say that having that ongoing and steady relationship with your tax person is actually a bonus in life. So I would encourage you to, give your tax preparer an opportunity when when you do your taxes already 5 years, 6 years with them, as long as the circumstance is not that they don't have the knowledge to serve you anymore. We have a lot of clients coming to our firm because the tax preparer just don't have the knowledge anymore, which is understandable. But otherwise, looking at human relation side of it to form that relationship. That's really important for you. For 2022, with so much going on with pandemic, I think I just saw Bill Gates warning the world about this winter going to be even the worst for the pandemic. So who knows? And we are still in it, right? And having that connection with your tax preparer that you already have is priceless. And make sure that you get connected with them. Get connected with people who yield the understanding with you. Like when you see that person, that person can understand you. I have clients come to me and just simple reason is that they felt I could understand them. Even though I don't speak Spanish, I'll tell you, I communicate with people who speak Spanish, no problem at all. And I know they don't understand English, but somehow my English is simple enough that it is understandable with my gestures, body language, and showing things around. We'll get through. So language is a barrier, but it's not a barrier. Depends, right? All right. Then the last thing I want to mention to you about related to filing taxes for 2022 is for you to know. And when you have, pandemic has made a lot of people really withdraw from a lot of things. So we have some taxpayers probably haven't really filed for 3 years, 2 years. So 2020, they didn't, 2019, they didn't file, 2020, they didn't file, 2021, they didn't file. And I want to tell you this, and so you understand. Let's say if you didn't file, it's because you go, well, I know I don't owe taxes, I'm not gonna file. Or I'm going to get a refund. I'm not urgent. I'm not gonna file. Those are really silly consideration because do you know your refund will expire in 3 years? So let's say now we are April 15, 2022. We're filing 2021, right? And let's say you didn't file the 2021, 2022, 2019, 2021, 2020, and 2019. That 2019 year and that refund you're supposed to get, IRS don't have to give you because there's a 3 years statutory limitation to limit you from getting your refund. But if you owe money, you would have to pay. You're always going to pay for what you owe. But if you're getting money back, you don't because there's a 3 year difference, 3 year cutoff. So make sure that you really work on it and be sensitive to timeline. All right. And, if you have such a tax issues that bothers you all the time, I mean, why don't you just make a New Year resolution and say to yourself that I will get it resolved? When you say I will get it resolved, it's not you resolve it. It is you hire Community CPA to get it resolved. So what do you have to lose? Well, yeah, you lose some dollars, but really, I always hear people saying this. Anything that money can buy or can do, anything that can be done by a dollar, by money, it is not a problem. because it is really a problem just you. You're thinking money bigger than anything else, and you're not giving the importance for you to live well. So just, I know I'm not a philosopher, and I don't consider myself really convincing by any stretch, but I do know that tax worry is a fake one. Tax worry is self-inflated. So you want it to be you want to worry. It's not because you cannot resolve it. So having said that, I give you no excuse to drag your problem to 2022. And I want you to prepare your 2022, prepare your 2021 tax document, file them properly in 2022, and make a New Year resolution to get your tax problem solved. And in 2022, what's wrong with that? 2022 might be the last year of pandemic year, because the Spanish flu lasted 3 years. So I really think that this might just go with 100 years ago, what we had here, 3 years. So if that's the case, we're really officially saying goodbye to coronavirus, and in 2022, say goodbye to the problem on your taxes. Say goodbye to the problem that you cannot let go of that worry, and make a determination that get it resolved. Yes, get it resolved, hire a professional, and let it be done. That would be your 2022. And I hope that you enjoyed talking with me today. And I certainly enjoyed having you on my webinar, and I appreciate your time. And I will see you again. Happy New Year. Bye-bye.